Hello, dear friends in our chat room. Good evening to you. Today, we have the great honor of inviting Mr. Richard Wong, the Vistage Malaysia founder and Vistage Master Chair. He was also the annual award of 2017, right? That was the year you won a COPE award. And Richard is a very experienced leader. Today, we would invite him over to talk about, from his perspective, his experience and CS leadership in turning around the business. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Richard, before you start talking about your topic, maybe you can speak a few words about yourself to our audience. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Right.
Well, I am, if personally, I am the third generation a Chinese who came to the Far East. My grandfather and my other grandfather, mom's father, one came from Guangxi, and one I don't know from where. He's a Hakka, and one is the
Hakka.
Guangxi person. Yeah, Hakka. And so then they came over and they got into mining, and of course then my dad was born. So I'm the third generation, and we have a lot of stories, and we have also many uncles in China, and we visited them, and they visited us, and due to the opening of China. And how should I say, I started my career as a teacher. I do not know what I was doing. So when I went to high school, and that time, that time is there's very few in the universities, and going overseas is a costly affair. So after the high school, then we're thinking what to do, and of course, then I was offered a job to be trained as a teacher. So I said, "Wow, okay." I got myself trained. After teaching, I said I don't quite like teaching, so I have fun with the children, but I thought that the long term it may not be the one I want to do. So I persuaded my dad to send me to Australia, and I took up accountancy, being an accountant, and spent 5 years in Australia. Got 2 degrees, and then I came back to work. After working 3 to 5 years, I decided accountant is not the job for me. I said, wow, this is not boring. I had to be, and I think maybe my character, you didn't know my character. Now I found out that I am a very innovative, prepared to look at new things. So I start to help the expatriate marketing manager, the purchasing guy when they have an issue. So I go around helping where I can, and and I end up eventually the company recognized that when I resigned from the job as the CFO, they refused to let me go and decided to make me the country manager and ask the expatriate country manager to go back. And because of my curiosity and my thing, so I then started with NILEX. So if you don't mind, then I'll use the PowerPoint from there.
Right.
Okay.
Can talk through your career.
Yeah. Yeah. Oops. So please alert me if I'm going too fast, all right?
Right.
So talking about turning around businesses, and I want to talk about the choice. Let's say, look at, firstly, I think if we are on this stage, we talk about what is the business of CEO. And we say the CEOs are in the business of making decisions, and hopefully they make the right decisions, right? So in the case of a turnaround, and what do I mean turnaround? Turnaround meaning, in my definition, is the company has been losing 2 or 3 years or more and continue to lose money. And in the next 1 or 2 years, they did not see a way to turn around. If they continue, they will go under the water, right? And therefore, God turn around. If you don't turn it around, it will go under the water, or you will go have to be liquidated. Now, what are the choices? If you are the incumbent CEO, that means you have been running the business and you're running it losing money, then I think number one, maybe you should resign to allow a new guy to take over, right? There's one decision. Okay. What's the number one? Number two, if you're still incumbent, means in the job, and you say, right now, I need to downsize or right size, meaning bring the number of people and expenses to the level that at least I can do a break even urgently, and see depend on that person, right? It is the choice. Now, and the third choice will be, hey, I really don't think I can do it. I can try, but if I do it, I've been running an organization, I didn't do it, not the right size. If I don't think I have a confidence to do it, often they will engage a turnaround expert. Come in and say, come in and help me to turn around. And often this one is also a tough. Your turnaround comes in, they do not really know the business. Really, they are really downsizing the business, right? You're going to really going back and look at downsizing the business, but using an outside expert. The fourth one is the incumbent or the new CEO, you involve the people by being open, transparent with what's happening. In other words, you call the number of people together. They have lots of experience. If you have been 10 years, right? They know that in and out of the organization. And if you can tap on their knowledge and you make them trust you, and you have to also appear to be asking for help. That is the fourth element. In other words, open your book, engage the people who knows about the business than anybody, a consultant or whatever. And I have taken the fourth approach, and I think it worked. And in the work, I'm going to share using two cases, right?
Good.
Before just now, we're starting the milestone. I joined in 1976, remember, as a CFO, and I was too busy and I resigned, and they say, you don't go. So they appoint me as the country manager for Malaysia. Right? And then under this company, we acquired electrical business. Now it'll be strange. Nylex was in the plastics. We acquired a Temco business. Afterwards, I'm going to talk more. We acquired electrical business. And with my leadership, the boss said, you acquired this business because that company is going down, and we can acquire it and see whether we can do something with it. I managed to turn around, and then because of that, I was promoted to be the group CEO. Right? And then I listed the company on the board. And during the Gulf War, I listed the company, and we got the second highest premium on the stock market. It's almost like a darling of the industry. After that, I left Nylex and founded TEC. Now, how do I know TEC or Vistage? I was traveling to Australia. NILEX was part of the Australian group and also part of the London group. I was traveling as a professional CEO to Australia. And one day in the in-flight magazine, I saw the article that said that it's lonely at the top. But you don't have to be lonely if you are people like you who understand your challenges. So I saw, wow, that's a good idea. So I tore the article out and kept it. And eventually I traced it and say, hey, I was going to explore that. So I actually took leave and flew to California and convinced the founder to give me the license. That's the history, right? Convince them, you give me the license. And at first they don't give me a license because, hey, he said, the Asians don't share. I say, if we have enough time, if we get to know each other, we share deeper. In fact, we go more out of the way to help our fellow men than the Westerner. I say with due respect, right? I say that. And then I asked for the license from Malaysia and Singapore. And later on, they give the license at the end of 1994, I kick off. Now, when I kick off the company, Vistage, then my ex-shareholder of NILEX rang me after a few years on 1997 and say, Richard, I know that you left NILEX at the peak of your career, at your pinnacle of your career, and you tried everything and started TEC. I'm not asking you to leave TEC. I'm asking, could you do a part-time for me to turn around this rubber company, which I put in a lot of money, and now looks like it's going under. Nobody is supporting it. So I said, now I said, if you say I can put whatever time I could and not leave TEC alone, then I will try and look at it. So I went and looked at it. Afterwards, I'll share the story, right? And of course, then since then, from 2001, have a turnaround. I left that, and until now, I'm still with Vistage, now called Vistage. And my fire is still burning as a Vistage. Still enjoy doing it and helping a difference, helping business owner and CEO make a difference. That's the milestone. Now, this group that I started was starting on the polymer business, the plastic. I grew that. Then we acquired, remember, the electrical business in the circle here, the 40-odd%, and there was in packaging. So when us enter, we start to engineering and we start to acquire businesses that we think that they are not doing well, but because the people are not the right people, the technology managed right. So we then, under the BTR philosophy, is looking at business that has potential but not understood. So we did that. So I'm starting with the polymer is the plastic business which I help. Then I went to Temco, right? I'm going to talk about the Temco. The glove business is outside. Now, my success story is three. NILEX, as I mentioned, the plastic business, I went in and applied the same method that I'm going to explain later on. I turned it around, and it's so much so that the return was way above the sister company in Australia, New Zealand, and Taiwan. That they sent a team of people to look at what we do, and they later came to me and say, hey, there's good news and bad news. The bad news, we did not find any new technologies, machine or whatever that we can buy and replicate the productivity. The good news is it's all about people. It's all about people. And they went back and reported it's about building a team of people that they can trust the management to deal with the issue, right? Then the Temco, I'm going to talk about the Temco story, right? And the glove. Yeah. So let me talk about the Temco turnaround. By the way, because of my success in NILEX, right, I was voted almost like a lottery, you know. I was voted boss of the year when I turned around. I listed the company. We won the quality like the Malcolm Borish Award by the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and the Asia Money reported we are the best top 5 managed company in Malaysia.
By Asia Money.
Yeah, I'm a Asia Money, right? Yeah. So, and this is what my boss say. Richard is a servant leader. Your style, servant leader is you don't go in and tell them what to do. You agree what needs to be done, empower them to do, and you're going to support them like servant. What help do you need to grow? And my big boss there reported NILEX business was the top performer out of 400 business units worldwide. Sales and operating profit was 28%, when Taiwan, or same operation, much bigger, earning 10%, Australia and New Zealand 12%. So they came and studied and they found that, hey, it's about people. It's about people. Okay, let's go to Temco business in the electrical switchgear. So the company is in a situation, starting in 1966, manufacturing low and medium switchgear business, doing very, very well. In 1984, 1985, during the downturn, the company for 3 to 4 years lost heavily. They were like $34 million in debts they can't collect.
Mm-hmm.
Employed 500 people. That time they were doing 150 million, and they expect from 95, 96 onwards, they will continue to lose with cash flow problem. So we went in and do a diagnostic like health check, you know, you go to a doctor to health check, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they urgently need people to put in money, the cash injection by the existing and the new shareholders. But the existing shareholders say no, they're not going to put in. By the way, Temco Cutler is owned by a UK company and an American company. They were joint venture. Both of them decided not to put in. They were looking for the buyer. Right? At that time, they was managed by an English gentleman, expert manager. And at that time, when we look at it, when the board look at it and say, hey, we like to look at Temco, whether we should buy 100%, partly because the UK partly is owned by, this Temco Cutler Hammer was owned 50% by the UK. UK interest has directly interest in NILEX. That's why you know about it. So through NILEX, the chairman say, hey, why don't we have to look at this company, although we are not in the electrical business, right? Now, when we decided to look at it, immediately when we decided to sign the agreement, we asked the expatriate manager to cut the workforce by 30%. But the budget did not do it immediately. He could ask and look after the people. He took 6 months. 6 months. After 2 or 3 months, right? First month, 10%, second month, third month, the people becomes very anxious, very, very sad because they do not know whether the company will continue to lose money and continue to retrench people, right? So when we took over, we signed the ownership, 100% of this. We asked the expatriate to leave. And when we took 100%, and I was appointed, remember, I was the CEO country head of NILEX, so I become the CEO. And the morale was the lowest. People were looking jobs outside. Now, if you are a CEO, what do you do? First job, I better resign. If I'm running, I better resign. I ask the expatriate, you better leave, right? And I alone, I cannot do it. And if you get a headhunter comes in, we're not too sure. And this company has been around in 1966. They have got a lot of technical experience. They have gone through the market. So what I did, I then look at the 350 people. I selected 30 people. I invited them to a full 2 days called health check. Take them away from the office, away. There's no interruption. Now the 3 levels, I picked typical 3 levels. So the heads of department, the second level, and some of them are line leaders, supervisor leaders. The 3 levels consist, if you put together, probably they will make up 200-300 years of experience. I brought them together and say, hey, I opened the books and say, hey, we are losing this amount of money in the last 3 years. We have retrenched 150 people. We look like if we cannot improve a turnaround, we will continue to lose money. We will not guarantee we will retrench more people, and some of you here may be retrenched. So we'll give you the situation, the problems, the implications, meaning if we don't do anything, and we will be in the deep, deep trouble. And we send out and say, SOS, save our soul. We want you to help us. Now, how? This is the method that I learned through the NILEX when I get somebody to come and help. We put the 30 people together and say, I want each of you to write out, give them each 10 cards. If you want more, give them 10 cards. All blank cards. I want you to write down without your name on it. What is your personal perception of the company? In other words, hey, the shit company, unworthy. The work is terrible. Management staff does not talk to us. Department is fighting each other. We are not open. The communications, the production don't talk to the purchasing. The salespeople don't talk to the marketing, the R&D. There's no community up and down. Remember, right now, everything you individually think is wrong with the organization. And you don't need to put your name, right? So what we want to do is we collected 300 cards.
Oh.
300, when they write them, more than, some are writing even more than, that means about 35, each, right? And you ask them to write, we collect, what do you want to do? We then ask each one to read out. Not them, right? I don't want them to put the name, because if they put the name, because the bosses are there, right? They were afraid to tell what are the problems they face. So without name, they write down what's wrong with the company, with whatever. We will then go around and read every one of those. And then we do this. We will then, I will then assign them, okay, then I'll go to the next one. I will then put that and put on this chart. Now this chart is the business health diagnostic tool. Is like a health check. When you go to a doctor, right? You know what the doctor do? He will take care of a checklist. Are you feeling well, Sheldon? Do you sleep well? Do you feel neck pain? But if you don't answer, he thinks that you have a problem, right? You're in doubt. So it's almost like the 300 cards. I spread them across to this. So some will be on the market, competition, supply on the left-hand side, right? Some direction we do not know, number 3, right? I do not know, the company does not know, we do not know where we are going. Nobody tells us the direction. The structure is not right. We do not know what's our job. Information is not correct. It's slow. Our reward is terrible, right? And our customer is not treated well. Complaints are not properly handled. The production is a high scrap rate. They're hiding it. And there's no proper training. And our collection is bad. Go down 7, 8, 9, right? And in the end, the morale is bad. People are leaving, customers are leaving us. So we put all those problems, we spread it into like a health check report, but they are structured, right? Then when I take them to do it together with them, I ask them, okay, we put them together and I want you to patch. So if a lot of cards are on customer, a lot of cards on human resource or operation, we put into this. So we would divide them into groups, 30 people, right? Divide into 70 groups, each one with a number of cards. We will then put into a risk assessment. If you look down, one side, the impact on the left, impact on the shareholders. Major, number that very major. How urgent? Now, I didn't do it, we will spread the group. They will then put in where they are signed, whether it is very urgent, 3 months, within 1 to 3 months, you must do something, and it's a major impact on the left-hand side, right? And if they are not urgent, moderate, 7-9 months, and low, like 4.4C, significant, but 9 months. So what we are picking is those that are 4.1B, 4.4. So we pick those by the group decision. Then we set up teams, right? Just now I go back. So then we're going to set up the teams. We assign out teams with KPI, and they will then go around solving the problem by teams. We set up our company like 4 teams. They meet every week, and they will report to the management meeting, and every quarter we report to the board. Guess what? What we have learned, by the way, they have turned around, we turned away the company. Within the second year, we turned profitable, and we gone up to 50% operating profit on sales, again, better than even the competitors. So what did we learn? Most human beings, if not everyone, wants to be, if I'm going for a job, I want you to place me in the right job, give me the right training, and allow me to do the best I can in the job and appreciate by the company. Guess what? Company may not recruit the right people, may not put in the right job, may not put in the right training, may not be motivated. Guess what? We actually are partly to blame if we not bringing the right people in and not giving the right job and not motivated them, right? Number 2, by opening, imagine the best health check is the company with 100 years of experience. Remember the 30 people, each one have 10, is 300. If there's 8 years, it's about 240 experience with the organization. Right? So you treat them like the doctor, a group of doctors, open the book, share with them the vital information to build trust and respect, and asking for the help using the method I talk about. So it is about collective leadership to diagnose, to find out the challenges faced, make the change, plus the buy-in to make sure your effort, your implementation is sustainable. Now, immediately after doing that, within the next 2 months, we quickly then select the top management team, basically the key team, to urgently develop a roadmap. Imagine just now we talk about a health check, right? Immediately we need to deal with the urgent issue. We also have to look at where are we going. So we develop a 5-year roadmap with the same people involved, with a very clear KPIs for accountability to reinforce the trust. And remember the 500 people reduced, even with 500 people, we managed to increase the sales by 150% and increasing profitability. Right? Why? Because the committed people are willing to come in, and if you're committed, you're focused, you unlock the potential. Just like I mentioned, you're making 20% operating profit versus what in the market, the highest player were making 11 or 12%. And what we did also, we look at the salary and the remuneration of the people are very fair according to the market, very transparent and communicated. We are treating you fairly for your work given to the company. So that's the lesson for the first turnaround. I go quickly. This one, the second one, the examination gloves. Challenges started in 1989 with the capital and the loan. Within the 6 years, the employed 2,000 more people, exporting 91% overseas, and Top Glove at one time, now is the Top Glove in Malaysia, the number one glove company in the world those days. During our time, they come to us as the main supplier. So those days we were the top three big, but of course subsequently then Top Glove went ahead. So Standard Chartered Bank liked the story. We were open with them. We tell them the challenge we face, how we handle the problem, and how do we deal with it, and how we track. They like our openness with our people, the openness with the banker. We trust them as our partner. They funded us, so they use the case study for the global MBA. This is the way how we should deal with customers in difficulty. We need to support. If we support, we need to grow together. So again, the lesson learned from this open book, again, bring your people that have been lots of experience, open up the books and say, hey, we need your help. Typically, you need to take 3 levels of your people, right? The health check. Immediately after the health check, assign out the problems, then engage them to the 5-year plan so that they can see the direction where they are going. They feel trust. They know that there's a place that will have built a career. We open with the bankers, with the plan, and with the major shareholders to get support to implement the plan. And we also then meet overseas customers and show them the plan, show them what we have done, the quality improvement, productivity, and we built some big customers, the long-term supply relationship. Also look at the major key latex supplier. Before my time, they will have 8 or 9 latex supplier. During the turnaround, we said we only want 2 suppliers. We said we use 1,000 tons of latex. We will split between 2 suppliers. We will enter relationship. We want competitive price, assured supply, and quality. We will split between 2 suppliers. With that, we have the trust of the suppliers. I call it the key suppliers, the third profit center. If you work with them, every dollar you save from a supply goes straight to the bottom line. You no need to do into manufacturing, sale, and profit, right? I call it the third profit center. If you work with the key suppliers, you trust each other, every dollar you save goes straight to the bottom line. So it's the third profit center. Your incentives, align your incentives with KPI and accountability. I call WIFM is what is in for me. All people working for an organization will ask, if I work hard, if I meet the plan, what is the in for me? So we must align the incentives with the KPI and we tell them up front, open, before it's done and say, if you meet this target, this is what you get. What it means that you build self-managing teams. Self-managing, right? They know what to do if they're not meeting those KPI. And finally, I said all business in reality are people business. So the mantra should be people first, customer second, then profit. Not profit first, customer second, and people. Imagine every time we talk profit, you stinge on taking care of your people, you stinge on the customer. That is a short-term philosophy or mantra. Take care of the people, they will be happy to take care of the customers. The customers happy will buy from you, and therefore the profit will come naturally. Thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, Richard, you have the last page. You have some sort of wisdom.
Okay. Yes.
Share.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So the last thing that the wisdom I learned is the 3 ways to acquire wisdom. Right? Yeah. Wisdom comes from not in knowledge, must the experience. Sometimes the bad, right? So first way is by reflecting on what you do, which is very noble, right? The second is just copy, which is easiest. But the third one is by experience.
Yeah.
And if you fail, the more you fail, the more experience, the more wiser you become. But it is a very bitter experience. And this is saying by Confucius. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Very insightful in a couple of cases that turning around the business. Right? Before we move to the Q&A session, I want to probably and further understand you some of the scenarios you mentioned in your case.
Yeah.
The first is you mentioned the case that you were appointed a CEO from a CFO role, right, to turn around in a position to turn around the business, and you kind of conducted a survey.
Right? First CEO in NILEX.
Right.
Upon CEO, then I turned around the plastic business first.
Right.
And that time I must be fair. And that time I did the third strategy. I actually got an expert that's not turned around, but expert in working for people, collective leadership. They brought in, they used that method. So I got that to turn around plastics. So then I use it in Temco and in the rubber business. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Right. And interesting, a story that you mentioned that you conducted a survey, right? You collected kind of a 350, kind of proposal points, from the people you surveyed, right? And then you sort out the questions and have you form a kind of analysis chat, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned that on the right hand, on the right corner, right, up right corner, there are 4 kind of windows, right?
Okay.
Urgently, you need to take some actions.
Right.
What are those? Basically actions on the up right hand.
Okay.
Up right hand. Right.
You see, okay, it's almost like I put an analogy, right? Yeah. Assuming a person is very sick, had a kidney problem, had a heart problem, and if you go to the doctor, right, the doctor will do all the tests, ask you question, do all the tests. You will go to a different specialist, go to kidney, go to the heart, the liver. It's almost like you do all the tests. Then he will put together a report, right? Now, when I got all the people involved, the people is almost like a specialist. The sales manager, the production, they are like specialists. They give me all the information.
Right.
I collect those, and I put together in the report. The report earlier was I spread it into, you said the sales problem, marketing problem, production problem, right? Now, having gathered all this, they will say, hey, customer problem, people's problem, direction problem. Then the audit problem. Then I said, how do we decide which one has the priority? So the second chart is the risk assessment. Now I said to them, okay, now that we have 12 of them, I want you into 4 groups. You decide, each one separately decide for us which one priority. Heart, we could deal with the heart problem or liver or the kidney. So this group say kidney first, liver first. Why? Another one say the heart. So I put together and I look at high impact, urgent. So they came up with it. There's no argument. They come up with, they will buy in. Okay. So they come up with, so the 4 becomes the 4 major issue, almost like heart problems, number 1. Then we go to the kidney. Then number 1 is deal with the liver or whatever. Yeah. You follow?
Yeah. Okay.
It's very much interesting. You involve them. They are like that. There are the different specialists in the organization, the healthcare, right? One doctor will send to all the specialists, X-ray. So if you involve your people, 200 years experience, all specialists put together a full report. You analyze it. You now prioritize which one to handle. Again, you use them and say, what be your priority? Now, when they decide, guess what? They know the priority. If they're asked to do that, they will put the mind and soul to it, right? They will buy in. They will work at it like fighting for their life. You know, they know they're fighting for their life, and they're engaged in it. You know.
Okay. So people were highly motivated to take actions to to solve the problems, burning issues, right? Some of the burning issues they
so we
face
said to them, if we don't solve, your job may be at stake.
Yeah,
right? and the livelihood at stake, your children. Yeah. If you help me, if you don't help me to help you, nobody can help us. We cannot go to I said to them, we can get a headhunter to come in or turn around, but they still come and ask all of you the problems, right? No, I don't need them. You are the one who can help me.
Right. And did people worry about their job security in that scenario?
You see now that at first, when I did the TEMCO, when we do that, right now, we were very downhearted. We are looking for a job. We don't trust TEMCO anymore. They don't tell us one shot, at one time they retrain all the people. They train 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Imagine when I go back, right? I cannot sleep because I do not know next day where I will receive the letter. It's almost like killing me softly, and slowly. But if you just kill me and say I'm go, fine. Then I will go and look for another job. So they were telling in that diagnosis, they write down, we are looking for a job. We don't trust anymore. Some of them even cry. Even now I thought I also very sensitive. They say the whole family cry because they say if you lost a job. They were so emotional. Even I talk about it, I get really emotional.
Anyway, that was a very tough moment, right, for most of the people there. Right?
Yeah. Now that they say, hey, you are given a chance to keep your job, and you got a chance to help to turn around and grow. Hence, therefore, the 3 year, the 5 years is important. Now that you turn around, where is the company going? You have a role to decide collectively how we are going to take the company and what role you are going to play, right? And therefore, it's sustainable. If you don't tell them it's not sustainable, they may leave the job and so on, right?
Okay. 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 Thank you. Great for the great sharing. Richard, really, you're turning around the business. That was a very vivid case about, how you turn around the business. Okay. Our team has collected some questions from our audience in advance. We already have some questions. Then let me pick up some of the questions for your comments or for your elaboration. The first one, as the founder of Vistage Malaysia, could you talk about the development history and the current status of Vistage private business board business in Malaysia? We have already you show your video, but some of our friends probably have not seen that visual. You can could you take some time to talk about how you make the history for Vistage in Malaysia?
Okay. Yeah. Well, as you see from my presentation, I was an accountant from Australia. I came back. I started to work. I'm very bored with prefer teaching and then accountancy. Yeah. And when I was CFO, I was so busy, like a busybody, helping everybody. So when I want to leave the organization, the board see, hey, I cannot let this busybody go. So they said, now you become the country head and as the expatriate. So I ran it for, so I took over after for 4 years as CFO, become the country head. Then I turned around the company, right? Yeah. I turned around the company. I was then given a job to go to Australia, to bigger job. I said, no, I don't want to go. I want to stay in Asia. And then they give me a job in Europe, the regional director. I said, no, I don't want to go Europe. So the two promotions came and I said, no. So I said to myself, as I growing already from the 1980, I grew in 1990, I say, hey, what do I want? Then in my mind, I was reflecting with my diversified experience. If I were to do something, I would love to share my experience with the small and medium-sized businesses, how they would grow the business. Now we don't have to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. So that was in my mind, thinking how that's the way I would do if somehow I would leave my job or whatever, right? I never think about leaving. So when I was on the flight from Melbourne on the Qantas flight back to Kuala Lumpur, I was sitting there. I was reading the in-flight magazine, and this is the flight. One page was saying, advertisement say, if it is. A CEO is lonely at the top, but you don't have to be lonely, right? So I said, my God, I am lonely. I was lonely, but nobody to talk to. This is a good business. Then in my mind, I connect and I say, I was looking that somehow in future, I want to do something like a helping people, a consultant, a trainer, a turnaround, a consultant. And now this job, this say that, hey, you can then ask to represent them and they provide you with a international platform, have the collateral. So it connect for me. What I do and what they provide has a connection. So I connected. So immediately I tore the article out and I went back and I filed it. I asked my secretary to file it. He said, what is this? I said, interesting article. Now, during that time, I was very busy listing the company for the NILEX board. I was busy. Now, it was in 1991, the busy, then 1990, I listed the company. Then 93, I listed the company. Then, after listing, suddenly, it's like something comes to my mind again. This something haunt me again. Hey, Richard, you want to touch something? Something maybe is about this tech. So it was there in my mind, and And it so happened there was a speaker from from America brought by the YPO connection. So I attended the talk, and after the talk, I went up to the speaker. I said, "You're from America. Have you heard of TED?" She said, "Well, I am. Sometimes I'm a speaker of the TED." Say, "What do you want to know?" I want to connect. I want to interested to talk about getting the franchise from Malaysia. Oh, so he gave me a number for the CEO or president. So I make connection. You know, those days connection, you never get to speak. It's always on the voicemail, voicemail. I got 4 5 times. I ring and ring until finally I got through one day. So there was Dr. Bill Williams, you know. So I said, yeah, I received the voicemail and about you wanting to talk to me. Yeah, now that he says, so I explained, I said, I like the idea about using the concept of a private board, helping small, medium-sized business to get together to help each other, to mentor. And I said, yeah, we are doing it. We are only in America. We are in UK, but Asia,
Not Asia yet.
yeah, so not there, too far away. And I say, we don't know time difference. I have no plan. I don't think in the next 5 years, there's no plan. So I said, well, okay. He said, you know, I work for a UK company, Australian UK company. I explained to him, I look after 2,000 people, 6 GM CEO reporting to me. I find I'm lonely. I think I struck a bell with me. And if I think this is the right thing, I think it is, I'm prepared to leave my job at the peak of my career to get the franchise and start in Malaysia. Wow, he was so interested. He said, well, I have no plan to travel over there. But what happens if I come over and talk to you? Well, if you come out, welcome to see you, right? Okay, so I said, fine. I'll give you a date when I'm ready. So I planned to take my leave. So I took 1 week off from my boss without telling the boss, of course, right? So I flew to America. I met with this Dr. Bill Williams and explained to him, wow, he thought, wow, you have a lot of experience. You are at the peak of your career. You look after group CEO of the ASEAN countries.
Yeah,
And,
so successful.
And you are the right person, you know.
Yeah.
So let me arrange a meeting. There was a morning, we spent morning together. After lunch, we will meet with the board and the major shareholders. So I remember Dr. Fred Cheney and then Dr. Bill. So they met in the afternoon. And Fred Cheney is very experienced, travel. So first thing he said, Richard, I don't think it worked in Asia, Malaysia and Singapore. I said, why do you say so? He said, well, I am also a professor. I give lecture in American universities. The people from Thailand, from Malaysia, Singapore, and Vietnam, when you ask them a question, they look elsewhere and they never answer the question. And so I don't know how, you know, when talk about problem, how did they open up? Well, I said, Fred Cheney, I said, you are the YPO. I also belong to the, you know, the YPO, you know, the YPO. I belong to a YPO forum group. And the forum group has a bit like this, but not exactly like this. They're not chaired by a professional. I belong to a forum group and consists of people in Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand, or whatever. Because Malaysia is too small, it's not competing together. I say, with due respect to you, friend, I think Asians, even given the right time, the climate, and proper guide, they will open up. And they open up, they can be very deep, and they can go all the way to help. And this is my experience, right?
Okay.
And so he looked at me, okay.
So,
and
he
so
was
he
suspicious.
said, yeah. So he said, well, since nobody in Malaysia, what about just consider Malaysia first? I said, Fred, Malaysia, I look after Malaysia, Singapore, ASEAN, and I'm also selling to Hong Kong. And I want Malaysia and Singapore, one territory. I want options for the southern part of China. So they look at me and say, wow, you are this young man, you haven't started. You asked for Malaysia and Singapore, you want to start up China. So I said, the rationale is this. If I'm going to give up my job, I will have a lot of sacrifices. If I succeed in Malaysia, don't you think I would be the right partner to open up market in other countries? We look at each other and didn't say anything. So they say, well, why don't you have a coffee? Give our board, I have a private meeting. So they went off, the 1 hour, they came back and said, I think your rationale, why do you want Malaysia and Singapore together? I said Malaysia and Singapore, those days are really, I said I handle products representation. Usually Malaysia and Singapore, you don't want them to fight, to each other. They are also together. So I want Malaysia and Singapore as one territory. The others are one option. I'm not going to start immediately. After 5 years, an option. So after saying that, they say, well, we are quite impressed by the rationale, the logic you presented, and the fact that you say you're going to resign from this job and introduce in Asia. If it is so, we are willing to consider you the license.
To grant you the license.
Yeah. So I say, well, he said, what about the training? So, I am even prepared to 1 week. Now this is the second day. I got 5 more days. I will want to be trained straight away so that I go back. I don't have to come back here all the way, right? So the next 5 days, I didn't train with CEO himself. So I had breakfast, lunch, dinner, training. He arranged to visit the groups. I do the one-to-one. I visit the speakers, where is the head office, look at the tools, and we look at all this. Now, I changed the model, They said, those days, 12 months meeting, every month meeting, and every month they have a speaker.
Yeah.
So I said, Bill, every month speaker, don't you think if you have problem solving, it would be better to have more of them sharing the problems and helping each other than having another speaker spend half a day? You see, well, we started, we want to change, and there were feedback. Some groups do not want to have less speaker, but if we just say we less speaker, they think that we are cutting costs. because they pay speakers, right? So, okay, what happened if I take the license? I want to start every month only a speaker. I don't want every month. You say, Richard, I'll support you. If you're licensed, you do whatever you like. So I started with a speaker every other month, not every month.
Not every month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every month. And I started with that. No people complain. So I started, so I promised her, I said, Bill, I'm going to launch in 3 months. I want you and the head office pay for your airfare and expenses to come to Kuala Lumpur to launch for me. So he spent 1 week. So we launched at the hotel for 3 days. So in September 1994, we launched. Given my connection, we have three AEs, was 2, and then the others are already the big companies introducing it. And I have about 20 people interested. Within 1 week, I signed up 9 people to start. 9 people to start within a week. Now, guess what? I cannot start until in November. Why? Because all of them dates cannot get started because everybody's busy, right? So now on hike side, when I train chairs, I said, after the first training, you must give me the starting date. Because when you go out and recruit, you must, every time you recruit, you must tell them the starting date. So you already have a starting date. Otherwise, when you're ready to start, ready to start in a 3 or 4 months, you cannot get all to agree on a date. So
Smart
therefore,
strategy.
I said you must have, so that you're also serious. Hey, I'm going to have this 3 months start, 4 months start. They say, wow, you're serious. You got date, they lock in. So everybody lock in by the time you're ready. Everybody ready for you, right? So with that, I am, I resigned from the job. So when I tell my story, everybody say, wow, he resigned from the job, start something new. He give all his benefit, his pay to start something like startup. And everybody like my story. They say, and also you have proven yourself. We give you the benefit of the doubt. So I got the 9 members to start.
Very interesting. Yeah.
And because I have done numbers, for me, I just keep on doing. So in the first year, I got 50 members already. First 12 months, 50 members.
50.
So when the licensee go back, franchisee, my God, we have never had a franchisee have 50 members within 12 months. No one had done it before. So every time, those days, my new guys, they always say, talk to Richard, talk to Richard, talk to Richard.
Okay. Now you have 600 members, right?
No, 1,050 now.
Okay, you have 1,015.
Yeah.
Oh, well, given the size of the population from Malaysia, this is a very significant number, right? And in China, put together the Vistage and our similar type of, I won't call them copycat, but they are in similar type of business. We put together, we don't have more than this number. Okay. All right. Thank you, Richard, for the sharing. And you are successful, starting up of Vistage in Malaysia. Well,
I must just add on one thing. I think never give up. I think the people come to you, they see that you really come to do the CEO business with a genuine intention.
Yeah.
With the passion and the drive to do it. Because if you believe it, it will cascade. It is very infectious, like the COVID, If you are excited and you talk to them, your excitement will flow into them. They probably give you a chance.
Right.
So you must be excited when you go in. You ask, why are you there? I'm helping you to transform. I'm going to help you to make a difference. Whether it's a personal life or the business, I want to help you. So if you recruit the right people to believe in the right mindset of really doing it, you will succeed. You will succeed. Yeah.
So you have to, be passionate, right? You have to be passionate about what you're doing. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. The second question I have seen is that, Richard, you have the title, the Chief Listening Officer. Is there any story behind that?
By the way, when after the 5th year decided to use this name, so I went to America. Even the CEO at that time, fantastic! I like your name. I think this is the greatest name ever invented. And this is our job as a CEO, right? Now, how invented is this? After I started, I mentor the CEOs. I find them, all of them are not listening to each other. And when I go to their companies, I talk to the senior managers and the PA. I found that the major complaint, boss don't listen, right? They don't listen. So I say, my God, they must be all. And I asked them, do you listen? Yeah, we want to listen to them. I listen to
Yeah,
them.
they always say that they want to listen. They say
Correct. They say, and you
they want
say,
to listen.
tell me. But before they say anything, they will give them, they say everything already, right?
Right.
So I decided to say, I must be use my title as a role model to myself and to an example for them. So you're right. Every time when I give the card, they will ask me, I say, all of you are not listening. That's why I say chief listener. So sometimes when I'm not listening to them, they'll tell me, you are not listening. You are not listening. They challenge me. So there were many cases, and because I want is a role model, I want to use the name to give to them and tell them, are you listening enough? You employ the people the expert in your job, and you don't listen enough, and you give them and tell them what to do, and then people will not doing the best, and to do the best. I say, people come to job. Nobody comes to. Everybody wants to come in and do a good job. Find one person who wants to come in and do a terrible job and get fired and so on. You cannot find, and we make them lousy and so and don't allow them speak and don't listen to them. That's why they are demotivated. They become deadwood. So answer the question. I want to role model and tell the CEOs you to listen, and listen. I say, by the way, listen means what? The same 6 letters alphabet is also mean silent. You know that?
Yeah.
Same letters, silent. And then I have one Lao Sư, one Chinese, one of my chair who is educated in Taiwan, and he told me, Richard, the word is I got from the word in classical Chinese means, it means if you listen means the ear is the king. All eyes mean 10 eyes. All eyes mean all eyes with one heart. No mind. Don't think. Don't try to think how to answer, how to defend, how to whatever. If you truly listen, you will know what question to ask. Don't have the question ready to ask. Then you're not listening already.
Right. Yeah, very interesting. Richard, you mentioned that you share a very good story, and then how do you think, based on your experience, the listening and the questioning skills, definitely will impact on your leadership, right? How could a new leader, for example, consciously cultivate these 2 skills? Because you are basically a good listener, right? And based on your experience, how people do develop the listening skills?
Teachers are very, very difficult because then we can listen, when
and the questioning.
right. It's very easy to say I listen and I question, right? We teach, even the chair training, we teach them. And then we have role play. Very nice, right? When they go back, they do not have real practice, right? When they go back to their own self, not able to do so. I would say that maybe we should, we visited us in Malaysia. What we have invented this is, or developed this and say, if you're a new chair, you observe a group. Once you kick off a group, we sign a mentor chair to observe your group full meeting, at least 3 full group meeting, if necessary more, and to give you feedback, not to at there and then to write back, basically to really to hear, to observe whether you are giving answers or asking questions. And speaking more than you listen. So it is one way I suggest that when you're not planning, in other words, observe, because if you don't, okay, the chair is ready to start a group, right? And we have no time to observe. We will not that they not do it, they may not forget or not doing often, but nobody provide the feedback. So if I observe a new chair running the meeting in the first 3 to 6 months, another chair observing and later on feedback at the end of the meeting, at the end of the meeting, provide feedback straight away. And over 3 to 6 months, I think my suggestion will definitely help to improve.
Okay.
Almost like a golf, in the golf, all the golf professionals have a coach watching the game. After the game or even in between, will give them feedback. Because if you say, I'm going to swing this way and turn right, when you do it, you can't observe yourself. You think you're doing it correctly. But until somebody you do it, tell you, and then you do it again, you tell you. So one way is to observe that. Another method is maybe the role play in the training, do more role play before they actually go into a solo in the chairing.
Right.
And the third one, I should say, is really about being present. The silence is being present. Silent means listening. Listening means present. I said every time when we ask the question, let them ask the question and just stay quiet and tell them don't say anything and observe the person. Observe the person meaning, if I say something, what would the person react in terms of tone and voice and body language? For example, I asked Sheldon, how are you today? He said, fine. He said, Sheldon, I saw the tone looks like you're not in the best today. Is there something bothering you? Now, it's just questioning, right? I listen. I don't judge you, then I go back. If I'm present, I can then detect. If I'm not present, I'm waiting to ask my question, how are you doing last month or whatever. Present meaning, listen meaning present. Don't think of anything and look at the person, the words, the tone, the pitch, and the body language. In the guy saying, I'm all right. I say, but the body language says that you are not all right. Now, that is questioning, right? Then you say, tell me more. Tell me more, right?
Okay.
Just one way of the question.
Right.
I suppose is more role play in the actual new group start, maybe at least 3 months to have a full person observing another person, meant to help so that we won't make the earlier mistakes. That's my recommendation.
Okay. Thank you, Richard. Okay. Well, you talk about your experience of your perspective, right? On how people can develop the listening and questioning skills. You have run research in Malaysia for so many years.
Yeah.
And from your perspective, what kind of value you think the way of Vistage, private business board, and has brought to the business leaders, CEOs or general managers in Malaysia? Can you cite a few examples of success, story in that sense?
Yeah. I now do the training, all the beginning training. I took back 3-4 years ago when my regional training retired, and I reinvent. I also look at what I've been still chairing, right? Day one in 1994. Today I'm still chairing, although I changed group after 5 years. And after 5 years, I make all the mistakes. Then I say, this I mistake I don't make. So I change to a new group. So I transition my group, right? I want to start over with a new mindset. So I want to use the true mindset to train the new chairs. Now, number one, I say, what business is Vistage in? I think we must know what are we in. How do we help? Are we we are not in the product selling a product. We're selling a service. People can copy. We are training. We are coaching. People can copy. Like I said, many people are copying, right? And the next level, we provide the training. We now the higher level of training or services is what? I give you experience, not just service. I've service someone better than you. People reduce the price, but now I don't reduce it, but I give you experience. Experience meaning it's a different experience, and I have to deliver the experience personally. For example, if you go to Starbucks, you go to the Rainforest Cafe, you go to Disney World, what do they deliver? Not service, they deliver experience.
Right.
Correct? The experience. Right. So to some extent, we deliver Vistage experience coming here, the board, right? Learning from each other, the experience of learning, sharing experience. And you are sharing experience of, if there are 12 members, 12 different experiences. You are thinking out of the box every month, not just one experience. So the uniqueness of Vistage is 12 members, 12 different paradigms, 12 different industries. So every month you are thinking out of the box experience. Nobody provided in the world. Secondly is not only that, the highest level of Vistage is transformation.
Transformation, yeah.
Yes. Now, I remember I was invited by one of my members to the school, and he is in the education business, kindergarten and high school level, and he was my member, and he said, Richard, I want you to come in and give us 2 hours motivation talk and some mindset change to the teachers. I said, don't you have? I said, yeah, I have. But this I want you to do that. And when I went there, I saw 500 teachers in a big hall. 450 were ladies, you know. So I then I said, hey, what business are you in? Oh, education business. We are in the kindergarten. We are in the high school. We are in educating the children to be bright, to enter all this, right? Ask them, more diagnostic, right? So I said, so I took a advertisement of a beauty care, slimming. And this beauty care, there was a famous, beautiful lady before birth, and she was very shapely and used as a model. Then got married, got 2 kids, and they show her again after 2 kids, still beautiful, you know. Then they show another plum, and then they follow the same beauty company, right? They then changed to beautiful. So I put on a transparency on asked all the audience, hey, what business? Oh, slimming business from this to this. I say slimming, yes, but how does it? What does it do to the this plum lady? Oh, change was slim lady. What does it do? Change, right? Transform, right? Yes, transform from a fat to transform to a nice lady that I wanted. Yeah, transformation business. Yeah, I said, if I send children a kindergarten, my kids, and if I send to a kindergarten, if they come back, they're well mannered. They have they got toilet manners. They have all the manners. They are very well mannered. They behave. They learn things. They eat before they don't rush. They will clean their hands. They learn all this. You think as a parent I'm happy? Yes. What are you teaching them? New way, right? You are, so aren't you in the transformation business? They all look at each other. I said, how do you mean transform? Some of them don't come in, don't wash their hand. You ask them to wash their hand. right? You tell them before you eating, tell them to say, yes, teacher, we're eating. Or the parent to ask them to eat. If they're not eating, wait for them to come first. You teach them.
Yeah.
You teach them toilet, you tell them after put in the bag, the shoes, the thing clean, and whatever. You teach those? No, yeah, we tell them they're dirty. If you tell them, you transform them to a self-managing, tidy, well-behaved. If you do that, I didn't ask you, right? If you do that, guess what? Everybody will talk about your kindergarten. Everybody will send you on the transformation business. So if you are in the middle school or the high school, if they are coming, they're well-behaved, they are good grades, and so not just good grade, your school will become a school that you are in the transformation business. So they all look at each other, all smiling, and say, yeah, we're in transformation business. So I said to business chair when I come in, you are in the transformation business. If they come to us, if they go back, they don't listen more, they have not transformed. If they do not involve the people joining to develop KPI, they do not fairly, they have not transformed. Right?
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
transformers? If they are not well, they are overweight, and they want always high blood pressure, they always want to change. The wife chase them, nag them, they don't want to change. If they come in and without their wife, the parents chasing them, they now decided with everybody looking, other people are well controlled, the weight, the diet, or whatever. They see actually we change by looking each other the experience. We confront each other. We hold each other accountable to change. If they come in, take the pressure to pill, automatically, whatever, they slim down, individually, they already transform.
Right.
Not business. Right. If they transform in the slimming, the high blood pressure, they become more listen. They become prepared to admit the mistake. If they really make the mistakes, they greet the people when they go to the office, and just not going in the office, very long face, and people look at your face is like a weather clock, not a weather, you know. Everybody's today is bad, nobody talk to you. So your face going there, your presence must be a bright, sunny weather. And if you do that, you are changed. So I say, all my duty, I say, we are in the transformation business. If you, in your mind, you look at this guy, overweight, and he want to change, help him. Why agree to the weight, when he need to change, what he want to do, one-to-one, deal with him, hold him accountable. Blood pressure, I want to delegate more. If he wants to agree with the understanding and hold the buyer accountable with the date, and if you do that, guess what? They already transform bit by bit, one person at a time. You see, also I am transformed, you know. I watch what I eat, I become healthy. In fact, he says, I'm one of the top healthiest guys, you know. So I also role model it.
Okay, good. So
one more, the example, one more. One guy said, hey, I'm so busy. Monday and Friday, I never go back for dinner with my kids. So after sharing, I say, hey, by the way, most of them going back at least 2-3 days, you know. Why are you not? I'm so busy. And my wife was complaining, why don't you try? So he started to do that. One day I went 1-to-1. Then he went off. The wife asked to see me. He says, Richard, always say that, always cry. And he said, yeah, God sent. He never come back for dinner. Now at least 3 times he come back for dinner. He said, thank you very much. Sometimes it's very personal. They personal. They don't go back for dinner. They say, so now he's going back 3 times. Now he tells me he makes sure he goes back. If he comes back late, he will tell them and they'll wait for him. Now that he has transformed.
Yeah.
Another guy in my book, you know, the peer group, I shared, they document that book in the Power of Peers. One guy wanted to divorce the wife I make him and the group to share, he has no right because he did not treat the wife well. Should he divorce, then he decided I give my wife a chance, and today they are still married.
Yeah. Good, good. So transformation really matters. Right?
Yes. So on the chest, in the mind, when they go and talk to the people, what transformation they want personally, as a husband, as a father, as a parent, and in the boss, what do they want? And we agree with it and hold them accountable. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Transform yourself as business leader and on the personal front as well. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good story sharing. Thank you, Richard.
Okay.
Unfortunately, time we're running out of time a little bit, but it's okay. We may have time for the last question. Now we are facing the COVID-19 in this world, especially in China. We, for example, in Shanghai, and the whole Shanghai city is under strict lockdown for nearly more than 3 weeks. Yeah. So the question for you is that, Richard, from your perspective, in the face of a crisis like COVID-19, what kind of leadership you think a CEO needs to have to lead the team, the business out of the crisis? You have seen many CEOs in Malaysia. They've done quite well.
Yeah, I particularly in my group and a few groups that I went to, I mentor, I say number one, you must act the role of the CEO, meaning you have to be decisive.
Decisive. Yeah.
Decisive. If it need to be done, right, you need to do it. Number two, you have to show care, and practically in the difficult time, you care. If your people will be there for you if they know you care. So during the time, I say, hey, don't just chase them for work. How do you then online? Ask them about the situation. How are they taking care of the family? How are they taking care of family? Are they happening? Are they, what concern do they have? Care for them, because it's number one. If they are in danger, where they're taking risks, who cares about your job? Who cares a customer? So number one, let's go back to the mantra, right? Care for your people, decisive. Care for people. Show, not only care, don't say, care, ring them, right? Periodically, maybe if it's something, you just send them something without them knowing, and send them some food, send them appreciation that you care. Don't tell them, just surprise them that you care, right?
You care.
And periodically, I ask them, my members ask them, say, tell me, I just have an apps and say, hey, tell me, COVID, how many members in the family, including the parents, are affected? Right? I mean, affected. How are you dealing with it? And the fact you ask them, they're sharing, they also feel you care, right? So decisive, taking action, caring, and also open again, on and on, even the transformation, open about what's happening to your business. Is the business going down or is it growing? Are they able to help? If it's going down, what expenses you need to trim down? And when you trim down, what role you prepared to do and they prepared to do? For example, you say, I have to cut down costs. Instead of retrenching, some of my members, they talk to me, I say, hey, instead of retrenching, option is to get the money. I'm going to retrench 1/3 of the workforce, or I reduce the pay by 1/3, everybody, including the boss. Until recover, then we go back. What do you prefer? In other words, you care if it's actual situation, share with them, and what action you're going to take. This is an option. Right? So I said three things. Decisive need to be done. Open with what's happening in your business. Otherwise, there are a lot of rumors, open what's happening.
Rumor would circulate.
Correct. Oh no, rumors of fake news. Tell them what's
Yeah,
happening. Tell them what are you doing when the cut costs
yeah,
are increasing, what you need to
yeah,
do, what role they play, and most important about the care of what happened to the family and what they need in terms of internet. Do they have? If they're too slow, I tell them, all the stuff I have, I'm going to install the upgrade internet. If your computer, just after that, we're going to store new PC to make sure that it's updated, a new printer in there. Give them the tools they can do the job.
yeah.
That's all I said. The three things, Yeah.
Okay, okay. Great points. In the face of COVID-19 crisis, right? As business leaders, people can show the decisiveness, right, and the care, and show the opening attitude and opening mindset. So people once can really present those kind of features and qualities, and we can lead our business, lead our team out of the crisis. Right.
Yeah.
Very well. Thank you, Richard. Highly appreciate your great sharing.
Welcome.
Okay. Yeah. Then on behalf of our audience, again, right, and very much thank you very much, Rich. You are based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and you share your experience from Malaysia, the country, in the southeast region. It's really international. Okay. Well, thank you again, Richard, for the
Thank you.
wonderful sharing. And also, my thanks go to my our audience, our team who has worked to make things happen for this live stream talk. Thank you all. Wish you keep well, keep safe.
Safe.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, well, yeah. Good night.
Good night.
See you next time.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye.
Bye.